Man, it's been so long since I put out a video, I gotta remember how I start these things. That's right. I usually start off saying something funny. Yeah. Okay, so I'm admittedly a little bit rusty, but 2022 was crazy busy for me and my business, and therefore I really haven't put out an actual review video in quite a while. But today I got something new in that I wanted to talk about. That's the Nisi C5 matte box. But of course, before we dive in, it's disclaimer time. Nisi did send me this C5 matte box kit, but they are not a sponsor of my channel and they're not paying me to make this review. Now, I am a Nisi affiliate and I do usually try out their new products and give them some feedback and ideas based on my professional opinion. I even used Nisi filters in my professional work long before they ever reached out to me. So they have no control over the content of this video, and as always, I can say whatever I want. Andor is the best Star Wars show after Mandalorian. So let's get started by talking about the purpose of matte boxes real quick. Obviously, matte boxes are used to make you look super legit to clients, right? Well, that's sort of a secondary benefit of matte boxes. Matte boxes prevent light from coming in and hitting and skimming across your lens at a shallow angle, which can cause flaring and unwanted effects in your image. They also often come with side flags or top flags like this, sometimes called an eyebrow or a French flag, to further extend the amount of light that they can block, unwanted light that you don't want flaring on your lens. But matte boxes also play a key role in the use of filters in front of your lens. They usually include at least one filter slot where you can add some filtration, and many of them even have multiple stages to allow for filter stacking to really control the light that's coming into your lens. So matte boxes, how many times am I gonna say matte boxes in this review? I'm gonna be so sick of that word. Matte boxes used to be really expensive, and a lot of the larger, more complex systems still are. But with the reduction in size lately of both cameras and lenses, there's a new wave of these smaller clamp-on matte boxes that have grown in popularity and are also extremely affordable. So to compete with all of those systems that are out there, Nisi has come out with their C5 matte box. The C5 is a clamp-on matte box with a 95mm clamp at the rear. There are various adapter rings available for smaller lenses to thread on and provide a 95mm ring for clamping. The C5 is built with a metal backplate and a composite plastic body, keeping it lightweight for use on small camera rigs or maybe while on a gimbal setup. This is a two-stage matte box, meaning you can load two filters at the same time. However, there's something unique about the two stages on the C5. It features one removable tray for loading 4x5.65 filters, but the second stage is a slot for accepting 4x4 filters. Not only does this allow you to add a filter whether you use 4x5 or 4x4 filters already, but it also allows the C5 to use Nisi's new C5 rotating filters, of which they currently have a polarizer and a true color variable ND. Now, as I mainly use 4x5.65 filters, I do kind of wish this had a third stage so I could use two of those filters simultaneously and stack them. But I understand that the more stages you add, the more you're going to be increasing the weight of the system. So a common problem I've been finding with the smaller matte boxes from competitors is that they keep the filters out towards the front and a little too far away from the front of the lens. This can cause light to enter and begin bouncing back and forth between the lens and the filter and give you some unwanted flaring issues. Now on the C5, they've managed to keep the filter trays as close as possible to the front of the lens, with actually the 4x4 being pretty much right on top of it. Now the C5 does have this nice carbon fiber top flag here, but I did notice that it's not removable. So while that's nice to make sure that the top flag doesn't get lost when not in use, it does mean that there's a possibility that it could potentially catch some wind in gusty environments. To combat that, Nisi has engineered some little airflow slots that go through the front of the matte box, meaning that in gusty conditions, any air that hits the front should be able to pass through freely and not turn this into a sail in windy conditions, especially if you're on something like a gimbal. So as I mentioned, the C5 can take 4x4 filters, 4x5.65 filters, or even the new C5 rotating filters. You can either pick up the filters that you want separately, or Nisi has some C5 kits available on their website. The C5 starter kit comes with only the C5 matte box, and you can use your existing filters or order additional filters as you please, and it comes in about $199 US. The C5 Filmmaker kit includes the matte box along with 3 filters, a 4-stop IR-ND, a 1/8 black mist, and the new rotating True Color variable ND. By combining the variable ND, which is 1 to 5 stops, and the 4-stop IR-ND, you now have 5 to 9 stops of ND. This is the kit that Nisi sent me, and it comes in at $569. The C5 Cinema kit is the same as the Filmmaker kit, but adds the new rotating polarizer as well for a cost of $699. All of those packages, including the starter kit, come with these 4 adapter rings to adapt to smaller lenses. There's a ring for 67, 72, 77, and 82 millimeter filter threads. And because I am OCD and love organization and cases, I am absolutely obsessed with this little carrying case that comes with all of the kits as well. It has room inside for the C5 matte box itself, all of the adapter rings, and a couple of filters in various sizes. In fact, I'm so obsessed with this, I wish they sold it separately because I would totally buy more of these to store all my other mini matte boxes in. Now, while I did get the Filmmaker kit, which came with those 3 filters that I mentioned, my focus in this video isn't really on the filters, but rather on the matte box itself, because I don't know which combination you're going to want to pick up. Now, I did do some testing of the filters, and I was happy to find out that it looks like the glass in their new True Color C5 variable ND is exactly the same as their thread-on True Color variable ND, which I did a review of and was pretty happy with. So, what do I like about the C5? First and foremost, I like the flexibility of using both 4x4 and 4x5 filters, and the potential of their new rotating filter lineup. The build quality is fantastic, even if they did opt for a composite plastic versus carbon fiber for the main body. I also do like that they had the forethought to add the air vents here to allow air to pass through and not have the matte box turn into a sail in harsh, windy environments. And to keep everything in this review fair and unbiased, here is my wish list. I do wish this top flag was removable so that I could take it off and get it out of the way when it's really not needed. I also wish it had some sort of third filter stage to allow me to add additional filtration when I need it. My last wish is one that really only affects me personally and maybe a handful of you out there, and it has to do with them choosing 95 millimeters for this clamp size. Some cinema lenses out there have larger barrel diameters than 95 millimeters. For example, my Schneider Xenons, which have an outer diameter of 100 millimeters, which means this matte box won't work with them. However, large diameter cinema lenses and big heavy camera builds is not really the target use for the C5 matte box. The C5 is for creators who are using lenses with an outer diameter of 95 millimeters or below that really want to up their game by adding professional filtration in front of their lens. So whether you're shooting an outdoor interview on a smaller camera package, or maybe you're on a gimbal with a stripped down lightweight camera package, that's where this matte box is going to find its place. And as I said, that wasn't really a list of negatives, but really more of a personal wish list from me. Some of those things that I mentioned in there, they might not be a factor for you at all. So it's up to you. So if you already have filters that you use and like and you want to just pick up the C5 matte box itself, or maybe you don't have anything like that and you're ready to really dive in and get one of the larger kits, the C5 has options that should suit all of your needs. The C5, all of the individual filters, and the kit packages are all available now, and you can find affiliate links to each of them down in the description below. And while you're down there, why don't you go ahead and give this video a like and leave a comment letting me know what you think about this matte box, and if you're going for it, which kit and configuration are you going to go for? And of course, please make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to the channel and get that notification bell turned on, because it is now 2023 and my New Year's resolution was to get back to regularly scheduled content on this channel. So you're not going to want to miss any of it. With that, I'll see you guys in the next one. How many times can I say matte box in this review?